So I start without a microphone, and I think everybody can hear what I say. Okay. Also in the back? Yeah. Okay. I had something in mind to have a start. How would I do it? And energy is a very big subject. Ever since the 1900s, Mr. Einstein, he said this E is mc squared. And this morning in the train, when I came to Amsterdam, I calculated how much is a kilo and what can we do with this electrical. I think if I explain to you, you will understand. So I will. And 1 kilo is enough for a quarter year, 3 months of electricity for the whole country of the Netherlands. 1 kilo. So imagine how much kilo are you each? How much would that be? But this is this calculation. E is mc squared. That's the basis of the Big Bang. So I had an idea to start with a silent moment, because the Big Bang started in silence. There was nothing. And when this Big Bang came, I imagined when I would talk about it, I would pull on 2 strings with a knalrotje. You know these things. Kdang! But the Big Bang was silent, so I skipped this trekpommetje. And so in your imagination you can imagine the Big Bang, because everybody knows sort of what it was. And from there, all of the energy is too much to talk about. So I made a selection of 7 points that relate to energy. And I want to first say goodbye sort of, to the energy of the doll, because also that is energy. We feel the energy of things around us. And my energy world as an electrical engineer, where I started, was energy that was fascinating me because of all these formulas, all these typical things of electricity. And yesterday I gave a small introduction to what I was going to tell today. And I mentioned also the objects here that I want to point upwards. And electricity is also something that wants to be up, because of it's a bit dangerous. We hang it on poles if there are blank wires. And sometimes when it's a misty weather and it's silent, then you can hear the high voltage wires going sparkling, sizzling. Or am I talking strange? No, I think everybody knows that. This sizzling sound. And this, when it's silent, then you can hear it. Maybe you can hear now, if I may give a short moment of nothingness, then I think we only hear the ventilator running on solar energy, maybe? We don't know. But this, let me start with 2006. I wrote a paper, an essay actually, and I gave it to the professor of cybernetics, that is meet- en regeltechniek, at the TU Eindhoven. And I was familiar with the group, and made a suggestion to have the identity of electricity part of the electricity system. And electricity goes by electrons. Many people know about that. An electron is part of an atom. Inside are the protons, and the electrons are around. And these electrons, they are basic for electricity. And so in this essay, I wrote about what kind of a discipline would be relevant to pronounce the origin of electricity. The origin of electricity was relatively important, becoming relatively important. In 2006, green electricity was already a fact for 5 or 6 years, because it only started in 2000 that where you had a liberal market of electricity for green electricity. But this green electricity, we would hear this by the talk of the sellers of green electricity. But what was supplied was something completely different. This was what my essay is about. And I have it here. If anybody wants it, then I can share it, no problem. So this is number 1. And in this essay, I proposed a unit. This is this unit. The unit is a plug, and this plug is anonymous electricity goes in, telecommunication goes in by Bluetooth from my mobile, and what comes out is green electricity, because it is an administrative miracle that green electricity can be supplied to consumers. We might have somebody on board here claiming, I use green electricity. But what is that actually? Electrons just shake, and sometimes flow a little bit, but mainly shake. And so I thought I can make a solution to really supply the origin information to final consumption, and this holds a little meter inside, a communication little module inside, and a switch. There is a switch inside also. So this lamp on the wall is running on American solar electricity, administratively, not by wire. That's impossible, because there is no cable between America and Europe. But it runs on the administrative produced and checked and made unique sun joules, and that comes by internet, by Bluetooth, to a module behind, well, in the corner over there. I can show you later. But it's a similar module as this one. So it's possible, that's proven, but there's no market, because this American investor, entrepreneur, he brought this product to the market, $60 it costs, and why would I buy a $60 unit with, well, it's only telling me that's green electricity, but it's not really, well, what is green electricity? So then this was the proofschrift, the thesis, and what the American entrepreneur actually proved is he does not get a good audience to sell his product to the American people. So I proved, actually, without doing anything, just writing the essay and having a patent on the concept, that the American has tried my product, which I invented, and it didn't work. I don't know, well, I do know why, but that's a long talk. Too long for now. Second point is mentification. Has anybody ever heard about it? Except insiders here. Mentification is a noun, can I say that? A word that is invented by the PR boss of the company Gasunie. Gasunie is a big company trading gas with the Russians and working for it's part of the state. This PR man, he invented this word mentification because of energy. Energy in the past was from muscles, from animals, from people, from man, and later on it became fossil, and he called this a red energy because it was close to the world of fire and heat. And the new wave, he says, is going to the blue energy. Blue energy is, compared to red energy, something completely different, because the blue energy is more high frequency. Red energy is warm, it's low frequency in the spectrum, and blue energy is more short frequency and more a mental type of energy. And this mental type of energy relates to digital energy. We could say, if it would be connected, this lamp and the American solar panels, that they work synchronous. The sun shines, the lamp works. The sun doesn't shine, the lamp doesn't work. But this one works not synchronous. It works on tickets that fill up in America, are transported digital to this thing, and this one consumes them again. This is also how green electricity works in the Netherlands, with Green Choice, Van der Bron, etc. So, mentification also fitted well in the mental type of idea, with the 4 orders that I make up for myself. There is spiritual energy, mental energy, very close together because it's a fantastic fantasy world, but in the 4 levels of spiritual, mental, emotional, that's the chemistry of ourselves, and physical, that is the, everybody knows. So mental connections is the word of mentification, and mentification means, in the idea of Mr. Ben Warner, he is the PR man, means the connected knowledge, no, connected consciousness, conscience, how do you say it?
Consciousness?
Het verbonden weten. Okay. So that's about mentification and digital energy and connectiveness. The city of Amsterdam, for example, is working on electricity, renewable production, and real-time consumption of that with car charging, with heating up waters, with electrical boilers. Okay, so this is part of my engineering background. But what do I do with it as an artist? Well, that comes number 5. First, number 3 is esoteric and the Tao. The Tao learns us about the philosophy of something is, or something is maybe not. Complicated to explain in English. So I leave it with that. And the esoteric is about, the collectiveness of a mental, maybe emotional structure, like all the things we do in churches, temples, things like this. So I try to put things together and make this energy work for what my hands produce. And because of the weather today, it's a bit of moisty weather. My instrument, cello or guitar, don't like this weather when they are moving around by train, tram, rain. So I left it at home, but elsewhere I would have played it a bit for you. Well, not me, but my guitar. Because what happens when I play my instruments, guitar, cello, they play more me than I play them. So it's like a little bit with Chloe and the fantasized world Chloe comes alive. That my instruments, guitar and cello, also for me come alive. I many times say to my friends that I am married to my guitars and my cello. But of course this is not really so, but it feels sometimes like it is so. Then, yes, guitars and cellos are instrumental, and I think many part of my life is also working with instruments. Electrical engineers do that a lot, because it's quite dangerous to work with wrong instruments, because you get electrocuted. And I, once or 2 times in my life, made that sensation to myself. I think some of us know more about it. And I know people that left their life with wrong instruments. So, brings me to the A of Amsterdam and Arnhem. Well, the letter A, as we all know, is a peaking sort of thing. High voltage towers resemble the A, the letter A. And I see in my work with the name to go up, also a sort of, well, pointing upwards is I associate that with electricity too, because the thunderstorm with the flashlight, it comes from above. Although it looks like sometimes it can come from below. But AF Amsterdam and AF Arnhem, I wrote a little piece about it. And I must have a little peek what I said. Yes. What is Amsterdam and Arnhem? I see Arnhem as a city. You have also Amsterdam and Arnhem. Amsterdam has a lot of watery character. The character of Amsterdam is with a lot of water, with the canals. And Arnhem does not really have a canal. Arnhem has the Rhine, and the Rhine is flowing, and the flowing Rhine is because it's higher up. So it must go down. Gravity is an interesting part of my form. And you can also see the gravity form in my works, because they all want to have well, especially this lamp. This is made on in Dutch a moker, I don't know, a sort of hammer in English. And it's a stable form to hold the little lamp on the peak. That it doesn't fall over when I touch it. So this gravitational relation with my work and the things going up, things must have a heavy foot, then a steel, and then something flowering up above. So this is more or less the concept of my idea. But also Arnhem, when you know the park Sonsbeek, and when you walk in the valleys of Sonsbeek, then you can see these tall trees, very long. And this is what makes me happy with Arnhem, and what I see in Amsterdam is there's a lot of flat water. So this flatness and this steepness, I think I sort of explained what I mean by the high trees in Sonsbeek. The rest is not so important, but I did some research, historical, about this building. It was interesting because my house and the whole history of the one who built it and were the first dwellers in my house, inhabitants, how do you say it, bewoners. I have tracked them ever since 1879, when my house was built, until today. I bought my house from a family that lived 3 generations in the same house. So these historical lines from where things come from or where they might go to are important for me. So I did a little checkup for the place where we are now. And we know this gebouw is from Tetterode, this building. And Tetterode was a newspaper company, a sort of, because they made the letters to print the newspaper, and lettergieterij. And this building was, in those days, 1909, owned by a milk company, de Amsterdamse melkfabriek genaamd Holland. And this was this building. And Tetterode was in that building, but they were flourishing. Everybody wanted their own newspapers, and they made letters by the lot. And so they needed this place, and this milk company that was here, they sold it to the Tetterode, and so this building became part of the Tetterode group. So I found this funny, because milk is something feminine, I think, and this letter part is very masculine, because it's working with metals. And so I wanted to tell about this funny relation. And yeah, my speech here gives me another idea that I also see as when I play with my surroundings and my little things that come together in clashes and they come into existence, that I look at the electricity system and infrastructure systems in general as a sort of weave. I think you know what is a weave, a weefsel, textile, and there are, of course, rough lines in the textile that make it a large weave. European-wide is the electricity system, but there's more analog-like systems like this. Then yes, Formtal and Duende. I think some of us know what is Duende. Duende is very related to the cultural world in the art and performance on stage. And Duende has a lot to do about, it's actually a sort of Spanish with the bull and the bull going on and doesn't stop. It will even nearly be dead in the arena before it ends its life or whatever. But this is a very, maybe Carmen, could you explain what is Duende? You know this verb or word in Spanish? Oh, okay. So, but it was invented by Garcia Lorca. He was a Spanish artist in the time of famous Spanish painter Picasso. Anyway, he was a friend of Picasso. And this Duende was also the title of one of my first expositions in Arnhem. And because Duende was so well described by Garcia Lorca, I thought this has a lot to do with energy, because the Spanish soul is very I don't know. When I see my sister in her passion things, she does like this, and this move is very, I think, typical for what we know as passion. So this Duende was appealing to my idea of, okay, you don't do those things for nothing. You have an idea, and this is this digital idea of mine of connecting sources with users. But it's quite difficult. I've been working on it for 19 years, and I've not really made big steps, but things are still going good. Well, the last thing I want to say about something is about words. And also words, I think, as we all know, carry energy. It's very funny when you think about it, but it is. So I think everybody should realize that the energy that is pronounced in words or in form should be enhancing the balance of energy in where you are in. So I hope my words give you an extension of the idea of what is energy about, what am I doing in my role in the energy topology, and okay, thank you for listening.